There's a kind of pain that doesn't just fade, it burns. A betrayal so deep, a humiliation so sharp, it carves itself into your memory, and for days, maybe even years, it lives there, feeding one powerful urge to get even. Revenge feels like the only way to make it right, like the only thing that could restore balance to the chaos they caused. But the Stoics saw things differently. They knew something most of us forget in moments of rage. True revenge isn't about returning pain. It's about refusing to be changed by it. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." That's not weakness, that's mastery. Because anyone can explode in anger. Anyone can act on hate. But to stay calm, to stay untouched, while the world tries to provoke you, that's power. When you react with rage, you hand over your mind, your peace, your control. But when you rise above, when their actions no longer dictate your emotions, that's when you win. Seneca put it perfectly. No one can harm you without your permission. This isn't about ignoring your pain. Your pain is real, but what you do with it, that's your choice. You can let it break you, or you can let it build you into someone even stronger. In this video, we'll uncover the Stoic path to revenge. A path not paved with anger, but with resilience. Not aimed at hurting others, but at becoming untouchable yourself. By the end of this video, the person who hurt you will no longer have any power over your peace of mind. If you're ready to turn pain into power, make sure to subscribe, and let's begin. Chapter 1. Why traditional revenge is a trap. Have you ever felt an uncontrollable urge to strike back, to make them suffer just as deeply as you did? The betrayal cuts deep. The injustice haunts you. It clings to your mind like smoke that won't clear. You lie awake, replaying every word, every action, plotting the perfect way to return the pain. It feels righteous, like justice in motion, like balance finally being restored. Stop. Ask yourself, does revenge actually heal the wound, or does it just keep it open, bleeding? Imagine someone throws a burning coal at you. Your first instinct, catch it and hurl it back. But in that instant, as your hand closes around it, the fire scorches your skin. You feel the pain first. You suffer first. That's the nature of revenge. The second you act out of anger, you've already lost. You're no longer leading your life. You're reacting to someone who may not even think about you anymore. Reacting to someone who already moved on, while you carry the burden they handed you. This is not strength. This is enslavement to their actions. And the Stoics knew this. They saw reactive vengeance not as justice, but as weakness. True strength, they taught, lies not in returning pain, but in transcending it. True power is in proving to yourself more than anyone else that they never had control in the first place. So what does Seneca mean when he says, "No one can harm you without your permission"? It might sound naive. Of course people can harm us. They can betray, lie, humiliate. But Seneca's insight goes deeper. The real damage, he says, isn't in the act itself. It's in how much we let it shape our inner world. The moment you allow someone's betrayal to dominate your emotions, you give away your power, you surrender your mind. And here's the cruel irony. Revenge doesn't set you free from that control. It strengthens it. The more you dwell, the more you plot, the more they occupy space in your mind. You're still their prisoner. But what if you could break that chain? What if you could use Stoic wisdom not just to defend yourself, to elevate yourself? That's exactly what we'll explore in the next chapters. How to detach from the grip of resentment, how to master your emotions, and how to become so mentally unshakable, no insult, betrayal, or attack can pull you down again. Because the best revenge is no longer needing revenge. Chapter 2. The Hidden Cost of Revenge. In the last chapter, we saw how true power lies not in retaliation, but in rising above the need for revenge. Now, let's look deeper at the trap so many of us fall into when we let anger linger. When you don't rise above, you stay trapped in a cycle, a loop of bitterness, anger, and obsession. It feels endless, and it is deeply human. Revenge is not some strange flaw, it's in our blood. Our minds are wired for it. In ancient times, retaliation wasn't just an emotional reaction, it was survival. If someone stole from you, attacked your family, or threatened your tribe, you had to strike back. Revenge was justice. It created fear of consequence. It kept the social fabric from unraveling. But today, the battlefield has changed. Physical retaliation is no longer acceptable or legal in most civilized societies, yet the instinct remains. It hasn't disappeared, it's just evolved. Now revenge shows up in quieter ways. Silent grudges, cold shoulders, passive-aggressive words slipped into casual conversations. The smile that hides a wound. The handshake that burns with unspoken resentment. These modern forms of revenge don't restore peace. They don't bring closure. They prolong the suffering. They keep the pain on life support, fed daily by our thoughts. Consider the story of Caracalla, a Roman emperor swallowed by vengeance. Out of jealousy, he murdered his own brother, his own flesh and blood. But that wasn't enough. The ghost of rivalry haunted him. He became obsessed with eliminating anyone who might one day challenge his power. Senators were executed, philosophers persecuted. Wars were launched, not for strategy, but for paranoia. Fear ruled him. Did all this vengeance bring him peace? Number it isolated him, made him reckless. It blinded him to reality until even his own guards grew weary of his cruelty. One of them, sick of the bloodshed, turned on him. Caracalla died not with dignity, but in betrayal, the very fate he feared most. His legacy, not strength, not greatness, self-destruction. Now compare that to Marcus Aurelius, another Roman emperor and a Stoic. He too was betrayed. His most trusted general, Avidius Cassius, declared himself ruler of Rome. Marcus had every reason to seek revenge. He could have unleashed his army. He could have made an example of Cassius, crushed him, humiliated him. But Marcus didn't lash out. He remained composed. He didn't let betrayal disturb his inner world. His leadership stayed firm, his character untouched. And here's the twist. Before Marcus even had to act, Cassius was killed by his own men. The problem solved itself, not through fury, but through the natural course of things. Marcus understood what Caracalla never could. True power is not in punishing your enemies, it's in mastering yourself. So ask yourself, which of these two emperors was truly stronger? The one who let revenge eat him alive, or the one who remained calm, centered, and untouchable? The answer is clear. This is the paradox of revenge. The more you chase it, the more it consumes you. You believe you're punishing them, but you're actually punishing yourself. You keep feeding them space in your mind. You keep them alive in your thoughts, your emotions, your daily inner dialogue. And here lies the cruelest irony of all. Even if you succeed in your revenge, what then? Does it undo what happened? Does it bring you peace? Studies show that retaliation rarely brings lasting happiness. The satisfaction is temporary, a flash of fire that fades just as quickly. What lingers is the emptiness, the poison, the gnawing unrest. It's like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. You hurt yourself over and over, while they may not even remember the wound they left. Seneca, once again, gives us a powerful antidote. The best remedy for anger is delay. In other words, pause. Wait. Don't react right away. Let time break the chain between stimulus and response. Because in that pause, something powerful happens. You regain control. You reclaim your mind from the grip of those who hurt you. You stop being a puppet to your own pain. And instead of proving that you're just as ruthless as them, you prove something far more devastating. They never had power over you in the first place. So before we move on, pause. Think back to a time someone hurt you, betrayed you, humiliated you. What did you do with that pain? Did you carry it, feed it, let it fester, or did you choose to transform it? Chapter 3. The Stoic Formula for True Revenge. In the last chapter, we explored how the pursuit of revenge, far from healing us, only deepens the wound. So now we must ask, what happens when we finally let go? Think about it for a moment. When someone wronged you, when they humiliated you, betrayed you, shattered your trust, did your anger help you heal? Did plotting your revenge give you peace? Or did it hold you hostage to the past, keeping you emotionally bound to someone who doesn't deserve a second of your time? The Stoics understood this trap. They saw clearly that true power lies not in vengeance, but in detachment. To let go doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you approve of what happened. It means you're choosing strength over suffering. It means you've decided that your inner peace is more valuable than keeping score. You're not surrendering, you're rising above. You're stepping out of the prison you built with your own thoughts. Because here's the truth, the longer you hold on to the idea of revenge, the longer you allow the person who hurt you to have power over you. You think you're punishing them, but you're really giving them free rent in your mind. You're handing over control of your emotions. But the very moment, the very breath, you decide to move on, not out of weakness, but from a place of quiet strength, you reclaim your freedom. You take your power back. Revenge is a cycle, a trap, a self-made prison with no door until you decide to walk away. The only way to win is not to play. True power, it's not in making them suffer. It's in building a life so full, so free, so deeply rooted in purpose and inner calm that their existence becomes irrelevant. You don't defeat them by proving them wrong. You defeat them by showing, by living, that they no longer matter. History remembers Marcus Aurelius as one of the greatest rulers of all time. His name echoes through centuries, a philosopher, a warrior, a leader with unparalleled wisdom and inner strength. But do you remember Avidius Cassius, the man who betrayed him? Few do. That's the lesson. The best revenge isn't public victory, it's internal liberation. So ask yourself, are you still clinging to the burning coal? Or is it finally time to let it fall from your hand and walk away? Chapter 4. How to Take Back Your Power, the Stoic Way. If revenge, as most people imagine it, is a trap, then what's the alternative? How do we reclaim our strength, our dignity, our sense of peace, without being consumed by the need to retaliate? The Stoics gave us a radical but powerful answer. The answer is not destruction, it is transformation. The greatest revenge is not in harming those who wronged you. It's in making them irrelevant to your growth. It's in becoming so grounded, so resilient, so untouchable, that their actions can no longer move you. Marcus Aurelius said it best. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This is the foundation of true revenge. Complete control over yourself. When someone insults you, mocks you, or betrays your trust, what they want more than anything is a reaction. They want to see you crack. They want to see you spiral, to watch you get angry, desperate, unstable. And the moment you lose control, even for a second, they've already won. But when you don't flinch, when you meet their chaos with calm, when you look them in the eye and remain unmoved, that is the moment you reclaim everything they tried to take. Picture two warriors. One is furious, swinging wildly, blinded by rage, driven by emotion. The other is still, eyes clear, breathing steady, waiting for the perfect moment, or perhaps realizing he doesn't even need to fight. Who is truly stronger? The one led by fury, or the one who leads himself? This is how we must face those who hurt us. When you respond with anger, you fall into their world. You're playing their game. But when you stay calm, steady, anchored in your own values, you rise above it. You operate on a level they can't reach. Mastering your emotions isn't about suppression. It's not pretending you don't feel pain. It's about discipline, about giving yourself the space to respond thoughtfully, instead of reacting impulsively. The Stoics practiced this daily. They didn't wait until they were angry to learn self-control. They trained their minds the way athletes train their bodies. They knew emotions are like storms, loud, overwhelming, but temporary. When anger rises, pause, breathe, ask yourself, is this worth my peace? More often than not, the answer will be a quiet but powerful no. And with time, what once seemed unbearable, the insult, the betrayal, the offense, will lose its power. It will fade. It will shrink until it no longer defines you. And the person who once held so much power over your thoughts, they will become just a shadow in the distance. No longer a threat, no longer a source of pain. Just someone you've outgrown. Chapter 5. Outgrowing revenge. Turning pain into power. The people who once hurt you don't become irrelevant because they changed. They become irrelevant because you outgrew them. That's what happens when you evolve. When you rise above betrayal and outgrow the past. You don't need them to change. You only need yourself to change. Become stronger, wiser, and free from the chains of old wounds. But you know what? True revenge doesn't stop at staying calm. Remaining silent and not reacting, that's not the final form. You must rise. Rise so high they can no longer reach you. History does not remember those who inflicted pain. History remembers those who turned pain into power. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison. He was treated cruelly and unjustly, robbed of his freedom and youth. He had every reason to seek revenge. But when he walked out of prison, he didn't carry hatred with him. He stepped out not as a victim, but as a leader who would unify a divided nation. He became a global symbol of peace and wisdom. And the ones who oppressed him, they faded into silence, into dust. His success was the ultimate revenge. We see the same lesson in the story of Steve Jobs. After being betrayed and fired from the very company he founded, he could have spent years consumed by bitterness, plotting revenge, but he didn't. Instead of retaliating, he chose to create. Instead of turning back, he moved forward. He built new companies, refined his vision, and when he returned to Apple, he transformed it into one of the most powerful companies in the world. As for those who pushed him out, he didn't destroy them. He simply rose beyond their reach. That is the kind of revenge that matters. Not fleeting satisfaction, but undeniable greatness. Don't waste your energy proving yourself to anyone. Use that energy to build something unstoppable. Let them watch silently as you succeed beyond their wildest expectations. No words, no need, just undeniable presence. But there is one final step, the hardest one, and also the most powerful. Let go. Not for them, for you. Those who act with cruelty often meet the consequences of their own choices. Call it karma, call it natural justice, but it will come. That, however, is not your responsibility. Your only job is to focus completely on your own life. Epictetus once said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." Don't waste your breath trying to convince those who doubted you. Become so strong, so fulfilled, that their opinions no longer carry any weight in your life. A person who betrayed you in love, forget them. Build a life so rich, so meaningful, that their absence becomes irrelevant. A boss who undervalued you, let them go. Rise so high that one day they regret ever doubting you. Revenge doesn't live in words or confrontation. It lives in a life well lived. It's easy to let resentment take root. Easy to dwell on what was lost. Easy to replay the past and wish things had gone differently. but none of that serves you. Holding on to revenge is like holding on to a burning coal, hoping it'll hurt the other person. In the end, you're the one who gets burned. The real power move isn't punishing them. It's making them irrelevant. It's living with such purpose that they become nothing more than a forgotten lesson, learned and left behind. So next time someone wrongs you, ask yourself, what truly serves me? Wasting energy on the past, or investing it all into a future they'll never be part of? The answer is clear. Let go. Rise above. And let your success be the only response they ever receive. Continuing from the previous lesson on the power of letting go, let's dive deeper into how practicing Stoicism can free you from the heavy burden of resentment and revenge. Letting go of revenge is easier said than done. Even when you understand that revenge is a trap, a cycle that keeps you chained to those who hurt you, there's still a part of your mind that resists. Your mind clings to anger because it feels like justice. It tells you that if you let go, you are letting them win. But the truth is quite the opposite. Holding on to resentment doesn't punish them. It punishes you. It keeps the wound fresh, the pain alive, the betrayal present in your daily thoughts, like an unhealed scar constantly aching. So how do you truly move forward and free yourself? The answer lies in a simple yet powerful shift in perspective. Imagine this. The person who hurt you no longer matters. You wake up one morning and realize that their actions, their betrayal, their cruelty, no longer hold any power over you. They become just another figure in your past, a distant memory, a lesson learned. How would that feel? What would your life look like if you were no longer weighed down by the need to get even? Do you feel lighter, freer, more at peace? This is not just a thought experiment, it is a path to liberation. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Most of our pain does not come from what happened, but from how often we replay it in our minds. Every time you revisit the betrayal, every time you remind yourself of the injustice, you reopen the wound. But what if you stopped? What if you treated those thoughts like passing clouds, acknowledging them but letting them drift away? A practical way to release resentment is a technique called write but never send. Take a piece of paper and write everything you want to say to the person who hurt you. Every ounce of anger, every frustration, every unspoken thought. Let it all out honestly and raw. Then when you're done, destroy the letter. Burn it to ashes, shred it, throw it away. This act is symbolic. It empties the poison from your system without fueling the cycle of revenge. You're not seeking closure from them. You're creating closure for yourself. Another powerful practice is Stoic visualization. Picture your life 5 years from now. Imagine yourself thriving, successful, deeply happy. Now ask yourself, will this grudge still matter? Will this person's actions still have any hold over you? Chances are the answer is no. What seems unbearable now will often shrink into insignificance over time. By practicing this mental shift today, you accelerate your process of detachment. You begin to reclaim your mind from the past and redirect it toward a future of growth. This is not just theory. It's a path that has transformed many lives. Take, for example, the story of Sarah, a young woman deeply in love and engaged to be married. When she discovered her fiancé's infidelity, her world shattered. For months, she was consumed by thoughts of revenge, exposing him, ruining his reputation, making him feel the pain she endured. But then she stumbled upon Stoicism. She chose a different path, not to drown in anger, nor to get lost in revenge, but to redirect all her energy into herself. Sarah began focusing on her career, her health, and pursuing her passions. She built a life so fulfilling that the man who once occupied her thoughts became completely irrelevant. Years later, when he reached out to apologize, she felt nothing, no anger, no desire for revenge, just indifference. And that indifference was her greatest victory. But if you're reading this and still feel like you can't let go, if the pain is still fresh, the injustice still burning inside, and the idea of moving on seems impossible, that's when practicing meditative detachment becomes essential. The Stoics practiced a kind of mental distancing, reminding themselves that everything in life is temporary, including pain. If you feel overwhelmed by anger, close your eyes and take a deep breath. Ask yourself, will this still matter 1 year from now? 5 years? 10 years? Most of the time, the answer is no. When you see that your emotions are transient, you begin to step outside of them instead of being controlled by them. Another way to free yourself from pain is to reframe your story. Instead of seeing yourself as a victim of betrayal, see it as a lesson. Ask yourself, what did this experience teach me? Maybe it taught you to set better boundaries, to be more discerning about whom you trust, or to rely more on yourself. When you reframe the experience as a lesson, the pain no longer holds the same power over you. You transform suffering into wisdom, into strength. The story of Daniel is a perfect example. He spent years building a business with his best friend, only to be betrayed when that friend secretly took control of their company and left Daniel with nothing. At first, Daniel was consumed by rage and wanted revenge, to destroy his former friend's reputation. But instead of wasting years on resentment, he chose a different path. He took the lessons he learned and started over. Step by step, he built a business even more successful than before. Years later, his ex-business partner's company collapsed due to poor decisions. Without Daniel having to lift a finger, he won, not by seeking revenge, but by excelling beyond the one who betrayed him. And finally, the simplest yet most profound lesson: live well. Invest so fully in yourself that those who wronged you become a distant memory. Build a life so purposeful, so deeply fulfilling that their existence becomes irrelevant. This is the most powerful revenge. Not bitterness, not hatred, but absolute indifference. When you reach this state, you understand the true essence of Stoicism. Nothing outside of you can harm you unless you allow it. The Stoics knew true power lies not in controlling others, but in controlling yourself. When you free yourself from the chains of resentment, you reclaim your peace. You stop wasting energy on the past and invest everything into your future. You rise above, not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve freedom. So ask yourself once again, does the person who hurt you still deserve a place in your heart? If the answer is no, then it's time to let go, move on, and live your true life. So, does the person who hurt you still matter? What would your life look like if you could let go of them? And what's stopping you from making that life your reality right now? The answer lies within you. Let go, move forward, and let your success be the only response they ever get. The final Stoic lesson on revenge is this: revenge is not about making them suffer. It's about making yourself untouchable. The moment you stop chasing retaliation, you set yourself free. True power is not found in anger, nor in proving them wrong, but in reaching a place where their actions no longer affect you. The greatest revenge isn't in fighting battles, but in walking away so completely that their existence no longer holds any weight in your life. They wanted your reaction. They wanted to see you break. They wanted to control your emotions, your thoughts, your energy. But the moment you choose indifference, you deny them that power. You shift your focus from the past to your future, from them to yourself. And when you rise, when you succeed beyond anything they imagine, they will realize they never had control over you at all. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." This means refusing to become bitter, refusing to waste your energy on people who don't deserve it. It means turning pain into wisdom, betrayal into growth, and anger into clarity. When you do this, you reclaim everything they tried to steal from you. Your peace, your confidence, your direction. Think about the people who wronged you, those who lied, betrayed, or hurt you. Now imagine if instead of holding on to that pain, you used it as fuel. Imagine transforming every moment of anger into something productive. Imagine growing so much that they become nothing more than a forgotten name in your past. This isn't fantasy. This is what true strength looks like. It's not about erasing the past, but about no longer letting it define you. But letting go isn't always easy. Your mind will try to pull you back, to relive the worst moments and justify your anger. That's why this is a daily practice, a conscious decision to choose growth over resentment. It's the discipline of reminding yourself that your future is more important than your past. No matter what was done to you, you will not let it shape who you become. The true Stoic doesn't ask, how can I make them pay? But rather, how can I make sure they no longer matter? So the question is no longer about them. It's about you. Will you let the past keep you shackled, or will you reclaim your power and move forward? The choice is yours. Let go. Rise above. And let your success be the only response they ever receive. If this message resonates with you, take a moment to reflect. What will you change about how you face pain and betrayal? Share your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe for Stoic Fantastic. Your journey to strength and resilience starts now, and if you're ready to master your emotions and live with unshakable peace, be sure to subscribe. In the next video, we'll uncover another Stoic lesson to help you take full control of your life. Until then, live well, rise above, and never let anyone dictate your peace.